Hello, Internet world. I still need a better opening than Hello, Internet world. Um, so, today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little song for you. And on to the better things. So, I wanted to talk about internet censorship, YouTube censorship, Facebook censorship, and here's how I feel about this stuff. First, look, YouTube's a private company. They can pretty much do what they want. Facebook's a private company. They can pretty much do what they want. What we need are platforms where there is freedom of speech, and I just don't see that existing. We need a better option than YouTube. Okay, if YouTube doesn't want, I don't like that YouTube censors people. I had another channel. I was demonetized on that channel. And not like I was making much money off of it. I mean, maybe in a year I made $100. But, my politics tend to be libertarian, maybe a little conservative. And, of course, YouTube doesn't like that, so they demonetize me. And I don't have a bank account anymore anyway, so I couldn't get the money. The last time I earned $100 off of YouTube, which was a long time ago, I don't know where it went because that bank account doesn't exist anymore. But I feel that YouTube and Facebook, if they don't want to put something on their site, they don't have to. I don't like that, but they are private companies. I think YouTube and Facebook and so forth are very hypocritical because like YouTube, you can find all sorts of videos made by gangs showing gang signs and guns and violence and stuff, but you express a particular political view that YouTube doesn't like, and you can have your videos taken down or your entire channel removed. Like I said, that's very hypocritical of YouTube. But their gun ban turned out to, I guess they got too much negative feedback on it. So they did ban certain types of videos. Well, not completely. They did ban a few gun videos, but like I said, I guess they got too much negative feedback on it and realized that was a bad idea. And then something I've already talked about, because I just got a comment saying that Trump is a better friend than the Dems. No, he's not. He's no better than the Dems. I mean, Trump has done more to oppose the Second Amendment than Obama did. Think about it. Obama didn't propose or did not actually go forward with a ban on bump stocks, but Trump is doing that. Obama didn't sign any red flag legislation into law, but Trump says if it hits his desk, he'll do it, and it'll probably hit his desk because the Democrats are, doing it. And if people would just, I'm going to provide a link, and if you just run through that link, you'll find all sorts of ways the Democrats and Republicans are basically the same party. I've said it before. It's as if there is somebody pulling the strings behind the curtain, and we just don't see who that person or those people are. So, if you honestly believe that a gun grabber, i.e. Trump, is more of a friend than the opposition, then you're voting to enslave yourselves. You're doing that. You're voting to enslave yourselves, and that's how tyranny comes in. The Nazis were voted into power. Remember that. I'm not calling Trump a Nazi, but the Nazis were voted into power, and people are voting and supporting a guy who opposes freedom, who opposes the Second Amendment. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Here in our town, or in our state, I should say, we have an issue going on with the way the tax system, the way the property taxes work, and somebody was elected here in our town who people would think of as being a conservative, yet now people are having to sell their property because the taxes are too high. Yet we had somebody who was on the left who would have actually lowered those taxes, which is interesting. But and then when the media says, well, gas prices have gone down, and Trump said he would cause them to go down. How in the world is Trump supposed to make them go down? The president doesn't make law. Law comes out of Congress. Gas prices go down in the winter, people. It's always been that way. I don't know, I shouldn't say always, but it's been that way for decades. Gas prices go down in the winter. Of course gas prices are down right now. It has nothing to do with Trump. It's the season. So, it's like you have two of the same people pretending, you have a Democrat and a Republican who are really the same thing, pretending to be in opposition to each other. And they're not really in opposition to each other. They're wearing masks. It's like the same person wearing two different masks. Now, if you really think that Trump is pro-Second Amendment or is better than the Democrats, well, then why is Trump supporting bans on guns? He's not a friend of the Second Amendment. I don't know where people get that from. You're going to continue to vote for people that oppose what you actually believe. It doesn't make any sense. Cognitive dissonance. That's really, I guess, what it is, because you claim to believe in one thing, but then the way you vote shows you don't really believe that. The Republicans claim to be pro-life, and I've said this stuff before. I don't know why I'm saying it again. The Republicans claim to be pro-life. Yet when the Republicans have had a majority in both houses, and they've held the Oval Office, they haven't done anything to outlaw abortion. I remember when Newt Gingrich was Speaker of the House, and what was the Gingrich Revolution, the Conservative Revolution, whatever they called it, and I became a Republican for like 5 minutes. But I realized I saw what they were doing, and I back then I would watch C-SPAN, and what would happen is, let's say there was some legislation that was there was legislation to end baby killing, let's say, although they never actually did that. But let's just use that as an example. So they would put it forward, and it would win, but then both parties would go back and cut everything out of it, so essentially it never existed. You know, it's like one party proposes something, they get it passed, and then once all the furor dies down, they go back a few weeks, a few months later, and they just gut it. They just gut it and make it to be something totally different than it was supposed to be. Legislators don't read the legislation they vote on. How can you read thousands and thousands and thousands of pages? No, your aides, your assistants, your office people, it's not up to them to read it for you. It's up to you to read it. And if you don't read it and you don't know what it says, you have no business getting on the floor and talking about it or voting for or against it. You need to actually read. The legislators don't even write the legislation. People from the outside write the legislation. Lobbyists and interest groups, they write the legislation. Now to Antifa. Antifa, BAM, BLM, etc. You're behaving like the fascists. The fascists did not believe in freedom of speech. The fascists wanted to burn books. The fascists were the anti-Semites, etc., etc. And that's what you guys are doing. You're behaving just like the people you claim to be opposing. And do you get it? I mean, really, seriously, do you get it? Anyway, I don't think anybody gets it, and I tell you what, things are getting scarier and scarier and scarier. More and more dangerous. I don't have anything else to say. I don't know why I have to keep talking about this stuff.